Hello again, Gridiron community who may be joining us for the game 2 or have travelled along from game 1, obviously the second of the double-header games today, and we've got the Moreton Bay Raptors hosting us, taking on the travelling Griffith University Thunder shortly upcoming. Like usual, I've got a couple of players I'm chatting to pre-game, and today we've got Pete Mariani, defensive lineman and one of the defensive captains for the Raptors. Mate, you've got a big wig coming in today. You've got a tall order in the Thunder, but you guys, you've proven that you can move the ball and you can play some defense.
Yeah, mate, the guys have been working really hard in the off-season this year. We put in a lot of hours working. It's not really showing on the field, but we've had a lot of rookies come on this year, and it's really tough, but they're really getting there, picking it up in their stride.
Mate, we'll quickly talk about your opposition. Obviously, plenty of talent, plenty of speed.
Yep.
Have you guys talked about that in defensively?
Yeah, mate, we worked on that all week. We've got a few plays in there that hopefully come off, and we can defend it.
You guys, mate, obviously you guys are a bit of a work in progress. You're a team that's sort of building for the next couple of years.
Yep.
What's really impressed you about your team this year?
Mate, they're really tough. They cop a licking and then they bounce back up next week and they're ready to go again. I've been really impressed with their drive to learn. Like I said, a lot of rookies. We've got no imports. So yeah, they're just working really hard. It's good asset to have.
Mate, final question, and probably the most important question.
Yep.
Talk us through this hat.
Oh, mate, it's my favourite hat. I love it. It's become a bit of an identity. People go, oh, yeah, there's that cowboy dude. But yeah, no, it's good. Yeah.
Big Barney, appreciate your time, mate.
Thanks, Kenny.
Good luck. Griffith University, free safety, Christian, as I know him, Preacher Arnold. Mate, you guys are playing some great footy right now. You're personally playing some great footy on the defensive end. Coming into a game today against a hungry Raptors team, what are you looking forward to complete?
Well, we're hoping we can complete on both parts, offense and defense. We've been looking pretty fresh. Training's been all right. Had a couple of boys miss a couple of things from work and stuff, so we're hoping we can kind of bring it together today. But besides that, we know the Raptors are really hungry. They've got nothing to lose and they just want to ball out today, and we're expecting a good game. And in this wet weather, our run game is all right. We're about a 70%, 30% pass to run, so we'll see how today goes. But besides that, we're ready and take them on and simply go how it all goes down.
Mate, a talented player yourself, is this possibly one of the best defensive backfields you've been a part of?
I do believe so. In the couple of years that I've played with a few different teams, been around, but this Thunder defence this year has been amazing, I think. I'm incredibly proud to be a part of it. A lot of the boys have been learning, and we had the merge from the Wildcats and the Bears boys the last year and stuff like that, and we've all basically come together as just one unit as a defence, and we're all out to get the top teams, and that's what we're trying to show for today and this year, basically. So yeah.
Serious question here, mate. Who's the biggest pest in the locker room?
Brucey, for 100%. Big boy. You'll see him. If you don't see him, you'll definitely hear him on the sideline on the field. So that's it for sure. Yeah, 100%.
Good luck, mate. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much for that. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to those viewers who might have been tuning in to Game 1 of the GQ doubleheader here in Round 8. Now the second of that doubleheader is about to go underway. We're a couple of minutes away. Both teams are warmed up and are just waiting for the referee's call. We do, dare I say it, have a few weather warnings on the way regarding storms. We had a bit of thunder on the back end of the last game, and no lightning to report as of yet. So fingers crossed we will get away with it, and then we'll get at least a half a football play between these two teams raring to go. There's the Raptors there in grey. You can see Pete Mariani, who gave us a pre-game interview. Aaron Verbakel now slinging the ball in preparation for a few passes to be thrown for the Raptors, and of course the Thunder. Thunder, who have got a couple missing players themselves, but nonetheless will be considered the favourite going into this matchup here at Deception Bay on this overcast Saturday. I'm Kenny Andres, and I'm joined once again by Phil Levis. Mate, this is the first time you'll be getting exposed through the Thunder, at least live, and you've called the Raptors game a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, the Raptors were impressive in their fight against the Rhinos a couple of weeks ago. Couldn't quite match them with skill level, but they gave their all and actually managed to put a couple of drives together against the Rhinos, which was quite impressive. And the Thunder, be very interested to see how they go, being a newly resurgent part of the competition, and hopefully hoping to play finals this year.
Well, I'm just getting the signal that we're 2 minutes away from kickoff. So the teams are both awfully casual in in the final minutes leading to kickoff. Now, this is a huge game for both teams, particularly if weather will play a factor. We saw last week, if anyone was tuning into juniors round, the game between 1 and 2 about whether, how they wanted to play things and how huge it could be for either team. Ironically, it ended up in a draw anyway, despite and they were tied 6-6 in the first quarter when the game was put on hold. But for the Thunder, who are trying to stay in second spot, a tie here wouldn't be the best scenario for them. For the Raptors, I mean, there's worse things that could happen.
No, they'd probably welcome a point and get them a bit closer to overtaking the Vultures if they could win that matchup next week. I know otherwise they'd have to beat them on for and against as well. Just take that out of the equation for them. And the Thunder would be a little bit worried if this gets called, that they could slip into third place and even fourth if the Stingrays start playing well, which we suspect they might later in the season.
These are a couple of the key Thunder players there. The Jones twins, Tristan Back, who was talked about a lot in previous games. There's Tommy Coleman, quarterback for the Thunder. I think Southern Missouri, if memory serves correctly. And he's having a chat to the officials about when they're starting. And Tommy Corwin, Central Missouri, not Southern. Southern Missouri is where Devontre Parnell ended up at in his collegiate career. But plenty of experience there from Tommy Corwin, and judging from his jersey, a handful of sacks throughout the season.
Yeah, it does look a little tear on the back of it there, but we'll see if he managed to keep a clean skin today.
Well, you just went out there to see if we've got any moisture coming down from the clouds. What was the official rain check?
I thought I could hear something, but I think it's just my headset moving about.
Oh, there you're going crazy, mate. One of the two.
Yeah, that too. That could definitely be a possibility.
The lights are on here at Deception Bay, ready for this game to travel into the early eve. And right now the conditions look all right. And
like I said, they could change at any moment, though. Let's keep our fingers crossed, though, that everything stays away and we get a good game here.
The Raptors, as aforementioned, in both the women's and the Colts games have passed. They're moving to the grey, white, and black scheme, which is opened up to them since the Toowoomba Vultures moved to a fluoro green look.
Yeah, another jersey change. It's a good looking strip actually, and just makes the colour clashes a little bit less obvious. They were previously in a red jersey, which threw up dramas when they were playing the Rhinos. I know that one team always had to wear an alternate strip,
especially when the Griffith Uni Thunder, while they're predominantly black, do feature a fine bit of red stripping in there. So
yeah, that still causes dramas for me watching sometimes. My eyes are good, but not that good.
Though ironically, I'm pretty sure the Thunder do have I think they might have reversible jerseys. I'm not sure. I think they actually have a white strip to complement that black. So
that would be interesting to see.
Can't remember if that was just a training jersey, or if that was actual team jersey. So
always good to see teams developing their jersey and uniform capabilities. I know when I was first playing, it was just not an option.
And possible bad news. Just heard a clap of thunder not too far away.
And I believe we do have rain now as well.
Yeah, you're not going insane, mate. There is rain hitting the fortunate tent we've been provided here by Paul Mills from live streaming Brisbane. I'm very thankful for that. Regardless of how this turns out, if there is a game that's going to be played, it will now be played in the wet.
Which should make it a bit more interesting. I know the Raptors' run game looked their best option. The game I saw them play against the Rhinos, they managed to actually get a couple of good drives going with some very heavy set inside run game.
Yeah, runs up the middle in particular.
Runs up the middle. We'll see how the Thunder deal with that, whether they've got the D-line to actually stop that dead or whether they need to adjust.
I think number 67 there for the Cameron Trejo. One of the two Trejo brothers, the other one's there. The other number 12 plays on defense. Both key guys.
Good to see a lot of them bringing the long hair look back as well.
Yeah, it almost feels like we're in the 80s.
Very, very 80s, yeah.
You can see our cameraman there. And there, Josh, dealing with the rain with the makeshift umbrella cover made by Paul Mills.
It's a very good setup he's actually got down there.
Actually, no, sorry, check that. That's actually Paul. That's actually director Paul Mills. He stepped aside. I should have recognised the lack of Millsy's voice in my earpiece. So he's actually getting amongst the action and sucking himself into doing the field, the sideline camera job when it started raining. That respawns us all just
Yes.
trail into late into the game.
Yeah, I don't think he got much game time today.
Jersey looks pretty clean. And once again, white hat is Andrew Calverley. And there's head coach Vinny Tuppi, rocking more hair than I've ever seen him with. So, once again, the first year head coach for the Raptors. Plenty of experience though. Represented at state and national levels.
Good to see them getting some good coaching. They're still building their program. They haven't been in that many years. Still building their program and culture and hopefully moving forward better and better each year as it progresses.
There are the skippers for the Raptors having a bit of fun pre-game. We're looking at number 24, Simon Pizio, the running back. Will be used a lot for those inside runs. That thunder continues to roar, as well as number 67, Tyrone Jones. We obviously saw Pete Mariani as well. And number 33, Corey Pettit. And the rain's only getting stronger now. And, oh, look, there's us. Oh, short little close-up.
Yep.
There we are again.
No, we don't need...
There we go. Phil Levis.
Don't need to be on camera, mate.
I was smart enough to position the monitor in front of myself. So, yeah, as you can see, there's a lovely spot we are calling from. It's a nice high vantage point.
And
so it's
dry
your
for the
direction.
time being, thankfully.
And there's the lovely clubhouse here at Deception Bay, Moreton Bay Sports Club. So all the players are patiently waiting for an official call here. But whether this game is going ahead, we were told about 5 minutes ago that it was 2 minutes to kick off. Obviously, they opted to delay that. And you see some of the leading players for the Thunder. Phil Carr, or Pretty Phil as I remember him. He's one of the
looks
captains.
like we are going to get a start.
Yeah,
They did
here
have
comes
a
the Qantas.
long chat to each team, but now we are getting a start, probably just going over the rules of what happens if it does need to be called and what the scenarios are. But it looks like we're going to get at least a start.
Well, we ran through the captains of the Raptors. The captains for the Thunder is quarterback there, and Tommy Corwin, running back Sean Darty, defensive back Phil Carr, and fellow defensive back and pre-game interview star Christian Arnold. He was a former teammate of mine. And in a situation like this, when you know that it's wet, but B, that it could be called at any point, what's your call here if you win the coin toss?
You take the ball, get it before it gets too soapy and slippery, and hopefully get some points on the board and run the clock out to halftime as quickly as you can.
Well, you can see which ways they're running. The Griffith Uni Thunder, they followed your instructions to a T. Looking at bomb, we've got a whole lot of blue, red, and yellow coming our way. So they've got the first opportunity with the ball, and judging from the way this is coming in, might be the only opportunity, depending how long this drive goes for. So, well, we saw this in the juniors last week. In a situation where the other team has taken the ball, do you consider the onside kick?
It's a possibility, and Raptors are not expected to win this game, so surprise may be their best weapon.
Well, they're going down for a prayer. They might want to make it awfully quick with how quickly this weather is coming in. Lee Palmer, formerly of the Griffith Uni Thunder, has come over to the Moreton Bay Raptors, and I had a quick chat on the way back to the commentary booth and I asked him how he's at, and he's like, it's a process.
Yep.
It's always a process.
Yeah, he's a lovely coach, Lee.
He's on there to assist Vinny Tuppi That might be a pretty good 1-2 punch going forward for the Raptors over the next couple of years. Lights are on, rain is pouring, and the football is ready to be kicked off. Ready to get us underway is Benjamin Langton, and back deep to return.
If they are going to go the onside, I would suggest just behind the front line. There seems to be an awful lot of space in there.
Sorry, back deep to return is Tristan back. I'm just trying to make it the other number. It could actually be Christian Arnold. And it is a short one. They tried it, and it will be recovered there by number 96. Gentleman who's not on my team list.
That's not the replay we're looking for.
So, first down and a decent field position there for the Thunder.
I believe he's going for more of a squib kick there, and it just hit one of the front linemen and bobbled loose.
Just trying to get it nice and slippery. I guess if you're going to give the ball away, you want to make it as moist as possible. Sorry, Kaio Silva was the one who recovered that. He is on my team list. I'm just blind. Tommy Corwin, not afraid to pass, but there's a result of the weather, trying to hit Tristan back on a bubble screen and slip straight out of the usual reliable hands of back.
Yeah, just trying to get the ball through the air as quickly as you can before it gets too wet. They would have switched balls after the kick, but still, the more time it spends on the ground, the slipperier it's going to get and the harder the passing game is going to be to execute.
Corwin. He's looking to send it deep, and he will get Silva in stride. That ball, that will end up around the 35-yard line. Big, tall, lanky wide receiver and Kaio Silva. Beating
Good
Langton
pass
on the
and well adjusted by the receiver there to get under it and secure it.
Missing Leon Moody today, one of their starting and talented import or wide receivers. Out with a hamstring injury at the moment. 1st and 10. This time there'll be a toss, a little pitch out to Darty. Darty has trouble holding on to it, manages to bring it in, but cops a hit in the backfield from James Raku.
Yeah, I think he thought he had it, but it just bobbled out before he could quite secure it.
Well,
Too busy looking downfield, not securing the ball. And that's what this game might be about. It might be about who can adjust better to the conditions and the problems they pose.
Well, we've seen a pretty simple catch dropped, and then even an exchange there. Even the most rudimental of skills, hard to do it in this weather. Corwin's going to keep it and show off his downhill speed, still breaking tackles, still going inside the 10 is quarterback Tommy Corwin.
And that's the most logical solution to those problems, is to not pass it or hand it off to anyone, and keep it in the QB's hands.
Tommy Corwin, who's in this season run more than I ever saw him run as a Wildcat starter. Yeah, I think I was with the coach Hollywood a couple of weeks ago. He was saying that Corwin was constantly getting pulled in favour of Ben Stokes during the state campaign because Stokes was considered the athlete quarterback. Walks up to Hollywood and says, "You know I can run the ball too, right?"
Yeah.
Clearly can.
Point to prove, so yeah.
1st and 9. I said 9 to go. He's going for the back of the end zone for back. And back had him open and unfortunately couldn't bring it in.
Yeah.
Ball too wet.
More thunder in the background, but hands catches are going to be difficult to execute in these conditions. We saw one catch completed more into the bread basket, and that might be how things have to go from here on.
I should note for our viewers, if this game comes to has to be called off and the game has not reached the halfway point, it will be marked as a draw. So not only do you want to score, you want to hope this game gets to halftime and you're in the lead. Sean Darty stuffed at the line. Pete Mariani underneath him. And over the top, Jay Hansbergen.
That'll bring up 3rd and goal, and we'll see what they come up with here, whether they go back to the pass or being about 7 yards out, whether they can punch it in with the run.
Well, as explosive as this Thunder offense has been, and we've seen a lot of their games live streamed this year, the one thing they're probably missing is a legitimate inside running threat. No disrespect to Sean Darty, he's a wonderful running back, but he is definitely more of that outside scout back.
Yeah. And whether they can get a quick pitch to the outside.
You know, they will try to play action pass it and try to get it to the new stand-in tight end in Chris Bradshaw, who's filling in for state tight end Robbie Corkett, and unfortunately falls incomplete.
Yeah, just missed him there on the pass. He did well, was all alone. And he did say before the game that he was going to try and get him a touchdown at some point today, and well, if he misses too many of them, that plan might go out the window.
He came up to me prior to the game.
Fourth and goal, it appears they're going for it.
Bradshaw, and he said he was beaming when he was telling me he was filling in a tight end. Let's see if they go back to him. On fourth and goal, they will pass it. It has to be brought in, and will it be recovered by the Raptors? I think it is recovered by the offensive line. We almost had a tuck rule situation there,
Yeah,
Phil.
that could still be ruled it was fourth down anyway, so I think the result would be the same for the Raptors. But yeah, just I think tried to pump it and lost the handle.
Yeah, that would have been a fumble had it been any other down. Well, I should have said should have been a down worth talking about, but it was fourth down anyway. So the Raptors, they give up a couple of big chunk plays, but they hold on where it counts. Score 0-all after the Thunder's first possession.
That'll be confidence building for the Raptors that they are able to bend, not break on their defense.
We have a Raptor down at around the 10-yard line.
I think that's a Thunder player actually.
Sorry, Thunder. My apologies. It is one of the big linemen. He's going to be helped up as we speak. It's number 67, Cameron Trejo. He'll make his way to the sideline. So, the Raptors now with an opportunity to be the first team on the board. They will have to go close to the full length of the field to get there, though. The ball is on their own 8.
Looks like they're lining up in a pistol formation.
Which is interesting because the game I saw, Aaron Verbakel took a lot of snaps under center.
Yep. A lot of handoffs to the fullback with the running back pushing him from behind and rumbling downfield to see how many yards they could get.
It was truly some old school football, wasn't it?
It was good, heartening to see.
For an old cloud.
He is moving under center.
There he is. And they will give. It's a good fake though by Verbakel, and they'll truck forward for a couple of yards. Not a bad gain on first down though. Actually a really solid gain.
Yeah, got good blocking just off the left edge, sort of a off tackle sort of look. Looks like we're having trouble with the replay at the moment.
Second down and 4. Ball on the 14. That was where their strength was, and is, I should say. Verbakel under center again, 2 backs. Pizzier, one of those guys. And it's another give to the backfield. He bounces off the first tackle, and then the troops come in and knock him down. Corey Jones, the final tackler on the play.
I think he just got back to the line of scrimmage. The Thunder look like they're prepared for the inside run. They look like they were running a 5 or even a 6-man front there, which has led to the Raptors looking more at off-tackle sort of stretch plays sort of look.
T-Soon Chun.
Just couldn't find the edge there on that one.
Thunder, I'm just looking at Cameron Helbig, who just walked past me, so they're without one of their starting offensive tackles. Pizzier and Chun in the backfield. Thunder showing blitz. And they'll try to go off the left edge again. This time it's shut down by Mike Jones and Philip Carr.
They'll bring up about 4th and 2.
It's a nice tackle there from Jones there. 4th down. He really runs that sort of Navy Army type of quarterback role really well, Verbakel, doesn't he?
Yeah,
All that sleight of hand stuff is making me double.
Especially in weather like this, you're going to have to pull it back and run it yourself at some point, and you want to make that less obvious. Looks like they're going to punt.
I think it's a wise decision given the field position. Good snap. The punt is up by Langton, and it's a good punt. Back there, though, is one of their imports, and he's finding plenty of space down that left-hand sideline. Almost loses it towards the end of the run. Safely out of bounds, though, is Chris Pope.
About the 34 by the looks.
Chris Pope, he was very relaxed pre-game, was having a bit of a lie down and a quick nap before the game, from what I saw.
Some people are able to get away with that, others need to stretch.
Well, it reminds me, some athletes, they're better at it. I think I remember the famous New South Wales halfback in rugby league halfback, in Craig Gower, who was famous for taking a nap in the sheds.
I believe the Raiders had a Chicka Ferguson, I think it was, years and years ago. Used to have to wake him up before every game, including finals. Be asleep under the change table.
Well, if it works, it works. Corwin under pressure. Gets the ball out. He wants a call. No, he's actually looking at his offensive line there, saying, what the hell, man?
I think the Raptors came off each edge.
Unblocked comes number 46. To
his
Fafita.
Left tackle made the wrong decision there. Went with the outside man and left the linebacker come free up the middle, which is not what you want your left tackle to do.
Well, I guess it all depends on the line call there. Was there a miscommunication? Was it slide or was it pinch? What was it? But Fafita, who I saw in that game as well, really athletic and quick off the edge.
Yeah.
4-man front. Fafita, they've got 5 now, as you said. They're running to their second string running back, Tate. He's shut down for a loss of about 1.5. Cody Tate Woolridge.
3rd and long, and the Raptors defense is standing up here. They're playing with a bit of fire.
Well, Pete Mariani, one of the defensive captains and one of the defensive line players, said, all we're expecting out of defense is energy and effort. And that's certainly what they're getting right now.
The Thunder pretty much have to pass it here, so that should be very interesting.
And it is hard to hold on to this ball. Right now, he's under pressure again, forced to run. He's going to have to use his legs for this 3rd down. Bounces to the outside, breaks a tackle, and gets the 1st down. He says, you want to blitz me? Fine.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. Unfortunately for the Raptors, they just left a crease for him to get away.
And plenty of quickness and agility on display in 2018 for Tommy Corwin.
It may be their best weapon, the Thunder, at the moment, but it's a hard thing to rely on because it puts the cornerstone of your offense in jeopardy every time you use it.
1st and 10. They'll give to Tate Woolridge, and he will get eaten in the backfield by number 79, Jay Hansbergen. This D-line, it's looking legit right now.
They are some big units, and they're getting off the ball quickly. Getting into the backfield and making stops and putting pressure on QB. That's advantage Raptors at this point. The only thing that's keeping the Thunder in it is the running game of the QB.
Bradshaw moves to the left-hand side. And it'll be a keeper again. I think quickly, at least on this drive, the Thunder are realizing their meal ticket is going to be the legs of Corwin.
Yeah, we'll just see how the Raptors adjust. They seem to have sniffed out that one. He still managed to get a few yards, but they managed to contain him. Sort of an inside read option.
Oh, it's 3rd down again, looking at about 3rd and 7. We're inconsistent now. Starting not to be seen so far. They'll go to Tate Woolridge. They'll try to get him close there. My thinking is they're going to treat this as a 4-down situation.
I would imagine so. They didn't go for the field goal earlier when they were in much better field position, so obviously they don't trust it in this weather, and so they're going to go for it on every series.
Well, I believe I've seen them try it, not so much as much compared to the Ravens and the Rhinos, but I'm pretty sure I have seen them line up for a couple of attempts. 4th down. They're going for it. Tate Woolridge still in the backfield. To the left, Kyo Silver, who's had the one big catch on the day. Corwin is going to call his own number. He's got blocks, no blocks on the back. Check that. Very well could be. Shy of the penalty, that will be a 1st down, but let's see what gets assessed.
It is in the vicinity of holding or blocking the back.
And I think right there we might have missed it,
Yep.
but I saw it live action. It looks pretty dodgy. At some point, you're going to sort of understand the play's coming your way.
Yep.
You've missed the block, you've just got to let it go.
Yeah, you've got to trust that your running back or your QB will be able to pick it up and overcome that error.
And there it is. So they're going to have to try this again. But that's sometimes hard to do. You miss a block, all you're thinking is, I've got to make up for it, I've got to make up
Especially
for it.
when you know your QB's still got his hands on the ball, you need to protect him. Sometimes it's a very hard decision.
You're stuck
And
between
something
a
you've
rock
got to
and a
make in a
hard place.
split second as well.
Yeah. 4th down and long now. After that block on the back penalty, score still 0-0 with 4:12 remaining in the first quarter. No sign of lightning as of yet. Corwin, he'll have to pass this time. Pocket's good though, and he'll throw to no one. The receiver could not get enough separation on that play. The pass was intended to Chris Pope.
Yeah, well covered there by the Raptors. They were in good position.
You can see the GQ sticker on the back of Pope's head, which is barely on there right now. It's the sign for the import stickers.
Yep.
You can only have 3 on, if memory serves correctly, on the field at the same time. Actually, I think that might be 2. 2 tier 1 imports.
I'm not coaching this year. I haven't kept up with that rule myself or umpiring either. So I defer to your wisdom on this one, Kenny.
Leon Moody out of Missouri S&T. No, sorry, my apologies. That's Leon Moody. Chris Pope out of Mayville State, a NAIA school out of North Dakota. Or NAIA, as they often refer to it. 1st and 10. Heavy set on offense for the Raptors. Verbaker will take his first pass of the game. He can't beat Mike Jones. Mike Jones adds a tackle and now a pick. Well, they felt they needed to compete, and they throw the ball up there, and they pick on the experienced corner of Mike Jones.
Just didn't get enough air on that one, and Mike Jones is very experienced and very tall and athletic, so he's obviously going to have the advantage in that situation.
Pass intended to Zachary McLean on that play.
Let's see if the Thunder can right the ship here and get some offensive plays going.
Well, Cameron Helbig might have actually just been late. I can see him kitted up now and possibly walking back to the sideline. That'll be a huge boost for them, given their O-line and the pressures they're giving up right now. Corwin didn't have to wait long. Straight back onto the field. Darty's now back with him as well. He'll be in there to pass protect. They're going long over the shoulder to back and back. Looks for a penalty, but ultimately just comes up with his 3rd drop of the game.
No, well defended there by the number 10 from the Raptors, Benjamin Langton. Managed to get his head around, arms in the way, and threw off the receiver enough they couldn't catch it, which is difficult in these conditions, to say the least.
Yes, it is. 2nd and 10. Ball on the Thunder's 44. And a gift to Darty now. Darty has been quiet so far. Was off all last drive. He drives this forward for a gain of about 6 to 7 yards.
There was much better blocking from the Thunder, actually rolling forward and keeping the Raptors off their man until the very end of the play.
Third down and short. Looking about 2, at the most 3 yards. Let's see if the Thunder can convert this. They send pressure. He'll lob it up to Bradshaw, and Bradshaw, unfortunately, I think Corwin thought he would continue running. Bradshaw sort of stood where he was, and that falls incomplete, bringing up 4th down.
I think just with don't quite have the rapport or the judgment of the speed there of what the receiver was going, and that unfortunately overthrew him.
4th and 3. Well, you almost considered to throw the exact same play because the Raptors are giving him the exact same blitz look right here, and that's almost exactly what they do. Corwin will pooch punt this. It gets it over the head of the corner, and it will go on for a touchback. But, yeah, you see some of the Thunders playing, arguing that he touched it. So
That's up to the referee's call there. If he's signalled touchback, that means he doesn't think the receivers touched it. And we don't see any other conflicting signals from any of the other officials, so we'll go with that one.
So now, this back and forth game, the Raptors, they're back in possession. They're getting the ball on the 20-yard line, following the touchback.
And like we said before, the longer the Raptors can keep this an arm wrestle, the more advantage they've got.
Well, it's conflicting sort of things with the talent and the position that Thunder are in. The longer this goes, the more for the frustration could likely grow, and conversely, for the Raptors, it's the higher the confidence will go. So if they can at least put together a drive that may not score but prove they can move the ball right here, things will continue to go the Raptors' way. The running back there, I think that might have been Tisun Shun, slips and gets tackled. Second and more or less the same distance.
I think they've counted him as losing a yard, so he must have called him down when he first slipped. And see, they are definitely being forced to go off the edge with the Thunder stacking the inside very heavily.
Just another reminder, as I do each week in this sport and in this league, the moment any part of your body other than the palms of your hands or the soles of your feet touch the ground, you are tackled. And this time they go to the inside. Chugging forward there is Simon Pizia. Or Pizia, I should say. Short gain. And taking him down. I think it might have been Bruce Pelusi.
All right, 3rd and long. Let's see whether they've lined up with 3 wide receivers out to the left.
Well, their last pass was picked off. Let's see what they go here on 3rd and long. In motion is McLean. They'll throw short to McLean. McLean's got a lot of work to do. And the Thunder won't allow him to do it. Good swarming defense, and that'll bring up 4th down. The Raptors, they'll need a punt away again.
Not a bad play call, but just had trouble getting the hands on the snap, which just slowed it down enough for the Thunder to get numbers to the ball.
See Verbakel there, just struggling to get that ball away. Verbakel, in interesting case, I'm pretty sure he started the year on defense, playing effectively a nickel back position, and then has moved to quarterback, a position he's played before in Melbourne. He's actually from Gridiron, Victoria, along with his partner, Nicky, formerly D'Angelo, now Verbakel, one of the resident photographers for Gridiron, Queensland. And here's a kick return here from Pope. Pope's got, look at that, blocks everywhere. Pope's got open field. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a flag on the field, but as of right now, a touchdown on the board. A huge return there by number 6, Chris Pope. But flags are down around where he caught it, and that's usually a sign of a block in the back or holding.
It's going to be difficult to pick up on this replay, but hopefully we'll get a signal soon.
Yeah, but the camera work there from Paul Mills, though. Nicely done. And
I
we
think
saw it there.
behind the play too, that's a coach killer.
Fortunately for him, I don't think we can quite catch the number. We know it was one of the big fellas.
No, it's bad enough when you make one of those plays, you make a copy penalty like that when the block busts a play, but when it's behind the play, that's when the coaches start getting on their blood pressure medication.
Talk to anyone from the 2009 Junior Queensland State Championship about
Yes,
that
yes,
play,
yes.
and you'll see a slight twitch in the eyebrow of anyone you ask.
Maddening, I believe, is the term I've used.
Yeah, I'm already done talking about it. 1st and 10.
Three receivers out to the left.
Here goes Corwin. Corwin goes short to Pope. They're trying to get Pope to do some more of his run after the catch action. And it's pretty well defended there by the Raptors.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a run and short pass sort of day, but not a bad play to get one of your more talented open field runners the ball and see if he can bust something.
And I think we've got the end of the quarter. So, end of the first quarter. The Boarders will take a quick walk there, and we might take a short break. Or we'll not. We'll stick with you and me, Phil.
Yep.
So, mate, tell me I'm not alone here by saying that how much did it suck as a lineman into the quarter, and you have to go to the other side of the field.
Oh, it depends how long you've got to go. If it's right at one end.
Clear. And back here on the the start of the second quarter, Phil and I we were just talking about how much it sucks as a lineman to have to walk downfield at the end of the quarter.
Depends how tired you are.
I'll hold the phone here, Pope. 3 plays in a row, his number's called, breaking the tackle there. And a nice hard hit at the end there by the Moreton Bay Raptors. Timothy, here's a tough one. Richard Valsky. Don't back myself getting that one right.
No. The Polish names are often difficult. Oh, lucky to get away with a face mask call there on the Thunder.
James you're lucky there. Third down and a long, looking about, it says 9, I might argue it's closer to 8 yards.
Yeah, the Thunder have got to try and get their run game going, I think, and start using it more on early downs to get in positive territory, because they're ending up in these third and long situations a bit too often.
They're going to another. They're going to go to the middle screen there to Corey Jones, checking in a wide receiver. He's broken 2 tackles, make that 3 tackles. He's got the first down and more. Now turning to some of their defensive plays to contribute on offense.
Well executed. Got blockers out in front and managed to slip as many tackles and almost busted open for a touchdown.
Well, there's a combination there of Jones's break tackle ability, but also the attraction Darty commanded, the attention Darty commanded on that little swing pass.
And also the clear out from the receivers being third and long.
Team effort.
The odds are on a long pass.
Corwin will hold this and he will drop it. The Raptors have come away with another turnover. Recovering that football is Jacob Gardner.
Raptors hanging in there and making plays.
This time, well, we saw this a lot in the Rhinos game, the Rhinos and Vultures game at the start there. The exchange causing trouble.
I think he just held it in there a bit too long and got dragged out by the hip of the running back.
Was this a situation where some of these exchanges, these late exchanges, these aggressively late changes, you could get away with in dry weather, but when the ball is slippery,
it does change the scenario a little bit, because you're having to put so much pressure on the ball to hold it in that spot for so long that a more conventional, it does take away your options, but it can be a bit safer.
Raptors haven't shown a lot on offense yet. Tisun Chunsu trying to change that. He'll get taken down after a grab of about 1.5 yards.
Managed to set the edge there, but just couldn't, with the heavy footing, couldn't get his turned up enough to make too much positive yardage.
The Raptors run under center more than any other team in the men's division.
Yep, bucking the trend of the pistol that has become pretty much ubiquitous in the league.
Can you tell the Raptors are head coached by a lineman?
It depends much on the talent that you've got as well.
And this is another fullback dive there for Gardner. Sorry, it might have actually been Basia, I think it was. And the short gain. These short gains, well, look, they're producing yards, but they're not moving the chains. A timeout here taken by the Raptors. They're going to have to try and find some other variant here to help them move the chains.
They've got to come up with a variation or a wrinkle on what they're doing to see if they can bust play. All they really need is one good play to get them downfield and get them in good position, which will open up their options a whole lot more. But while they're still getting 1 and 2 yards per carry, the Thunder can just sit there and wait, knowing they'll be getting the ball back soon.
Exactly right. That's the thing. Everyone talks about that type of football where you're hard-nosed football, you play defense and you win like that. That only works if you can keep drives going. If you're going 3 and out, that defense, which is balling out right now, is only going to get tired. And then with the explosion that this Thunder team has, it's only a matter of time before they break a huge play. We almost saw one there with Corey Jones.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, but let's see what the Raptors can do to keep this drive alive. Right, we've got an injury timeout.
Just trying to see which player.
Just getting the medic over to the sideline.
Trying to see which player needs it. Oh, it looks like it's edge rusher. Number 46, Tavita Fafita.
Or it might actually be...
Oh, no.
Hard to tell.
Yeah, looks like everyone's looking for what it could be Cameron Collins there, who's, might I say, a mighty big human. 3rd down and long. For Bakel. They'll swing it and they'll try to run the sweep. No, it isn't. It's the number 7, Zachary McLean. That time getting close. Look, he just found a good play there. You're desperate for a bit of time on offense. Do you think about going here?
Oh, it's very tempting. I'd say the state of the game at the moment, you want to punt the Thunder down and pin them down.
Keep the status
and
quo.
Play for more. It's going to be very much about field position. So if you get the Thunder and make them have to go the length of the field, the odds of you getting the ball back are much higher than actually going for it here. But looks like they're going to try and make a liar out of me.
Well, let's see what they do. It could possibly be a situation where they might try to get him off with a hard count.
Yeah, that'd be my call.
And no, they'll go for it. And Verbakel's going to keep it. Has he got the pace to get to the edge? That's a hold if you ask me.
Yeah.
The referee seemed to agree, which is a shame because Verbakel had the first down. And well, we were wondering when Verbakel would keep it himself.
I think he had the edge anyway. I don't think there was any need for that hold, and it's just put them in a much more difficult position now.
Because he was about 3 yards clear by the end of his run there, so take away the hold, he still would have got it.
He might not have got as many yards as he did, but I think he still would have got the first.
It's a shame. Holding, as we called it, on the offense. So I'm moving back 10 yards from the previous spot, so I think they might reconsider that punting decision.
Yep. It was a good play call, though, the misdirection with the naked boot.
Well, will they consider the punt? They just took a timeout. The second of the half.
Always suspicious when a team takes a timeout on a 4th down.
I mean, who takes a timeout to punt, right?
Or depends whether you've had trouble lining up your punt unit before and you want to make sure that everything's down, or whether you want to try and sucker the Thunder into not having as many guys back and ready for the return as well.
Well, the Thunder are anticipating defense. They haven't got a returner back. If they come out with punt, I imagine someone like Christian Arnold might drop back. And also the holding, there it is, it's now being applied. Wondering if I was going crazy for a second. There it is, 4th and double sticks now, looking at 4th and 12.
Yeah, it looks like they're going for it.
Well, maybe the frustrations are mounting here. They want to see some of the fruits of their labor. Player in motion, and I bet they wish they punted it. They've given up the ball in good field position for the Thunder.
Yeah, I don't understand that play call at all.
They need a bit of patience there, Phil, because for the Raptors, it probably wasn't the worst thing keeping the status quo the same.
Yeah, they definitely had an advantage. Like I said, mount all the pressure you could on the Thunder and wait and see if you can get them to do something silly, to miss a block or throw an errant pass, and you never know what can happen.
Well, with some of the upside plays they've been getting on defense, a couple of the pressures, a couple of the fumbles, you punt them in. If it's a good enough punt, you get them inside the 15, inside the 10 even. One mistake there can lead to, almost a defensive touchdown, or maybe a recovery inside the 10.
With the troubles everyone's been having today with snaps and handoffs and keeping hold of passes, errant passes, it's to your advantage to play field position and make a team have to go the length of the field.
1st and 10. Empty backfield, and they'll try to get this past to Silver, and it's almost intercepted by the Raptors, who, if they pulled that off, would be absolutely laughing at us and our
Yes, we planned that all along.
And our analytics. As the rain is getting a bit heavier, getting a couple of leaks up here.
Once again, short passes the name of the day, but in this weather, you've got to get them into the body as much as you can.
2nd and 10. Empty backfield again. They would rather go with short passes, and that's exactly what they'll do. This one's complete. And was it lost? It was lost and recovered by the receiver. Oh, they've knocked it out.
Yep.
Wow, what hustle there,
pass.
but incomplete, is that the call?
Yeah, I believe so.
Wow, I thought they might have set him out a football move after taking possession there.
I don't think so. It was in and out too quick for that, I think. I think that's a good call.
I think both teams are probably happy with that, and Thunder probably would have come out the better for that. They did recover it, but how about this? They, I think it was Christian Arnold who described himself as more of a 70% passing team. So much so that in this rain and with the errors they've had, they would rather go to an empty set and let their quarterback be the runner if necessary.
Yep, live by the sword, die by the sword. Here's a designed run on this time.
Yeah, this was a pull, a quarterback power. Tommy Corwin looking like a beast out there. Look at him go, safely taking himself out of bounds. And, well, there it is. They've decided their best power runner is their quarterback.
Yep. We'll see how the Raptors adjust to that with an empty backfield and whether they find a way to corral him.
And you can see the design of the power there. Was that Liam Hunter, I think, pulling from left to right there, getting a block on Pete Mariani, springing the quarterback. Looks like Liam Hunter's also taken exception to my fluoro boots comment, and he's changed to a more traditional colour, I think. No, he's still rocking bright yellow, bright fluoro greens. It's just rainy. Empty set again. Corwin, design run. Hang on, is that even Corwin? No, that's Pope. Pope's in for a play now. He's still slipping tackles. He's got spiders on him. They can't take him down, and he is yards short of a touchdown.
Good play. Just found that little crease. The Raptors looked like they had it all wrapped up, but he just found a little hole and managed to squeeze himself through. Tavita Fafita coming up with a touchdown-saving play, and, well, there's another answer for you. Just get your best athletes in there, even if whether they have RB next to their name or not. Also gives your QB a bit of a rest as well if you're going to be running him around a lot. Be a good option to have a wildcat sort of a look.
Take Wooldridge along with Pope in the backfield. The give will be to Pope. Wooldridge will lead block for him. Has he got in? Yes, he has. We've got the first touchdown of the day, and it goes to Chris Pope on the ground. 2-yard score.
Yeah, blockers in front. Lots of space. Don't think he was touched before the line. Very good work from the Thunder there.
And it looks like they've mixed it up a little bit. The Thunder have almost been a pretty straightforward inside-outside zone team. In the last drive, we saw multiple uses of power blocking.
Well, we've got to play the conditions, and it's definitely that sort of a
go that again, and they add 2 points.
Look, pretty much the same play.
So the Thunder, they lead 8-0. If you're the Raptors, are you even thinking about your decision to go for it on fourth?
Might be something they're regretting at the moment.
Well, they were a dropped intercept or a lost fumble away from being right in that call, so maybe it was a roll of the dice that they fairly took. So nevertheless, with 6 minutes 40 remaining to an officially acceptably completed game of football, the Thunder have an 8-0 lead, which will be enough to constitute a victory if this game is called any team after halftime. 6 minutes 40 or thereabouts is what's remaining in this first half. And a shout out to the Sporting Globe, our sponsor for this week. Plenty of options there. Grand final season is obviously over for a lot of sports, but still a fantastic place to watch football, especially if you want to duck down there during your lunch break.
Yeah,
watch some Monday night football.
I'm very tempted, finishing work as I do at 8 in the morning sometimes, to just drop in there and watch a game or two before I go home and have a snooze, but haven't managed to succumb to that temptation just yet.
Oh, season is long, mate.
Yes, yeah, I'm sure at some point you'll find me asleep in a booth.
I'll be in the booth next year. Might have actually got an official clock change there. 7:16 might be the official time left. 12-minute quarters, of course, in the men's division here in Gridiron, Queensland. 8-0. Subsequent kickoff taking place now. Here goes Tisun Chun. And I thought he got cleaned up. He actually slipped past the defender and gets a decent return, bringing it back around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, someone was lining him up for a big hit there, but just whiffed on it. You can see who it was.
It was actually a good block, I think. Last minute block. First down and 10 for the trailing Raptors. Have they got a big play in them?
Well, the rain feels like it's easing a little bit, so now would be the time to pull it out of the bag if you've got it.
Now there's an interesting player I want to talk about. Number 91 for the Thunder, and Hedi Kafoa. You might notice on there that he's does not have a right hand, which is obviously huge given the NFL. Shaquem Griffin proving you can get to the NFL, and missing a hand's not going to stop you. Here goes a huge run for the Raptors. Travelling forward is Simon Pasia.
Excellent work, but we've got a flag down, so that might be in the vicinity of holding again. You see the player we're talking about just playing on the right end there and
Makes the tackle.
yeah. Impressive to play having any sort of impairment, especially something you would think as essential as having a hand playing defense as well. But as we've seen with Shaquem Griffin in the States,
It can be
absolutely
done.
no obstacle to how well you can play if you're willing to put in the work. And good on him for getting out here and showing his worth.
Unfortunately, and I think he's only about 2 games in, so he's still learning the ropes. But fortunately for the Raptors, they get a huge play on that play, their longest on the on offense today, but it's called back for a holding.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That was a very well-designed play for them, and to have it called back.
But then you see him there. But Kafoa also plays rugby league in a sport where you need a hold to catch the football, so just shows he is more than used to competing in sport. Despite they have Tisu Chun. He's broken away. He's into the open field. He's picking up a final block. Has he got enough gas? They finally find a way. Wow! And the Raptors, after being shut down all day, find a way to get Tisu Chun into the end zone. Oh, this is brilliant stuff.
That has officially put the cat amongst the pigeons, because that could be, we could see a tie game at half time here. It's getting.
Let's take a
Let's say
look.
the Raptors be going for 2 after this.
Well, the Thunder went to the power blocking scheme. It produced points. The Raptors follow suit. A good downhill blocking there from the wide receiver and Alec Thompson, who scored a touchdown against Toronto last time he was on a live stream game. This time he makes a key shadowing block to get his running back into the end zone for a huge touchdown.
Well, we're saying all they needed was one good play to squeeze it out and get their confidence up. And now they're within one play of tying this game up.
And look, credit to them. And I know the game's still young. We're still in the first half, but sticking to who they were. They know they're a power running team. They didn't try to be anything else and produced points. Verbakel in for the 2-point conversion. Plenty of blockers out to the right. And it'll be a fumble. Will it be scooped up? It will be by the Thunder. No threat of returning it for a 2-point conversion. So with that, the Thunder hold on to a very, very slim lead. 8 points to 6. 6 minutes 40 remaining in the first half.
Yeah, interesting formation there. I believe they moved their left tackle over to the right, and we're obviously setting up for a power run off the right-hand side, but the QB just lost the hand. Looked like he was looking to see where his running back was and wasn't able to handle the snap cleanly.
So, unfortunately for them, that leaves them trailing, them being the Raptors, of course. But now they've just got to sort of bring back that defensive mentality that had been going well in the first half. They proved they can move it now if they execute correctly.
Play stout on defense and take the opportunities that come to you.
However, the Raptors,
I would be very interested in the short kickoff here as well. Maybe just in behind the middle line.
Well, they've put 5 on the front line there in case of the traditional onside kick. They've got Christian Arnold and Tristan back. So Christian and Tristan back deep to return should the Raptors go traditional with this kickoff. We're both standing now. This is how close the game's gotten.
Yep.
And they will line drive it. A wise line drive gets under the second line, and that'll be picked up by... No, sorry, that's Pope. My apologies, not Christian Arnold. Pope's got space. Pope's breaking ankles out there. He's still climbing the staircase. He's got open space. Flags are down. Back around halfway. He's still going, though, and eventually pushed out of bounds around the 20-yard line. This could be wiped, though. Plenty of flags on the field.
I believe there was a big block in the back to bust him wide open here on the sideline here.
Let's take a look. And there it is.
Yep.
Look, if you can't see the defender's eyes, don't make the block.
You don't see his front numbers.
But hell, I know who I'm talking to. I'm talking to players. You're all hyped up. You've got adrenaline going. You're in the middle of the play.
In their defence, there's barely a special teams play I see in the NFL these days that doesn't have a hold or a block in the back.
So
guys get too excited.
There's a chance you might get away with it.
Yep.
So this.
Well, there's a better chance at this level than you are in the NFL.
That's exactly right. So that's no
shot to our referees.
Both of us have donned the stripes before.
Yeah, just a matter of them not being full time and not having as many of them on the field as the NFL level does.
Exactly right. Though we're pretty lucky today. We've got a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly a 7-man squad out there with a couple of the guys who were refereeing at the Sunshine Coast game earlier for the junior and Colt games going on there, swinging over here on their way back to add more referees in the field. The more the better.
Some would disagree with it.
I think 6 on the field by Mike. No, 7. 7 make right.
7, yeah, 7.
Here goes Corwin. He's finding plenty of space on the left-hand side, still yet to be stopped and dragged down at the inside the 40-yard line.
Yeah, designed run again there. And pulled the right guard to make a little trap play for him up the middle. And the rest did with his legs. So it looked like they're going to stick with the power run game. Let's see if they change it up and try and get their passing game going again as well.
Darty's back now. Pope's there as well. Darty and Pope. Pope's a rushing touchdown on the day. The lone touchdown for the Thunder. They'll give it to him. He cuts north immediately and is taken down, but not before making about a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, well read there by the Raptors. I think they were supposed to go off to the outside. You can see by the alignment with the running backs a bit more shallow. That opens up more to get them to the outside quicker. But well read by the Raptors and forcing him up the middle and making the tackle. He still managed to get about 6 on the play though.
Second down and 4. Pope being told to move behind Corwin now. Darty more of a fullback. It'll be a play action pass and they'll try to get it to Darty. It's short armed by Corwin though. And that will keep the distance the same as we move on to third down. There's the Thunder sideline.
Yeah, I don't think he realised how much time he had there. He should have probably taken a second and set his feet into the throw, especially in these conditions. It's going to be harder for him to hold the ball and harder for the receiver to catch it, but he had more time than he realised.
Third down. Dottie and Pope flanking either side of Corwin. Kaio Silva, the near side wide receiver. They'll give it to Pope. Pope breaks the tackle behind the line of scrimmage. Jukes backward, though. That won't be enough for the first down.
Yeah, 1 or 2 on that play. But we are in 4-down territory here, so we'll see what they dial up for fourth and about 3 or 4.
It might be Pete Mariani who got an early opportunity on him, but the quickness of Pope got him ahead of the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, one of those players you've got to get more than one hand on. You've got to get someone to get a body on him in order to stop him.
And Raptors send blitz, but it's well read by Corwin, who keeps it himself and earns his team a first down. Albeit pretty close, though.
Excellent read there from Corwin.
That number 33 coming in, Corey Pettit, trying to blow up the play. Intelligence beats him in the end. Once again, using Liam Hunter to pull around and create that extra blocker on the right-hand side. 1st and 10. Thunder moving comfortably right now, looking to add their second touchdown of the day. Now they'll give it to Dottie. Dottie, using his quickness, still untouched, will beat the safety. And there is the quickness of Sean Dottie.
Very impressive. Just the way he just moves subtly around the players, not big jump cuts or anything like that, just using his speed to get to the edge of a defender and get past them.
And I've seen quite a few of his games now. He's one of the nicest looking runners out there.
Yeah, very smooth, very well balanced.
You know, I'm comparing him to sort of Alvin Kamara in the NFL, and they're very similar running style. They're just like, it's almost like poetry in motion out there when they run on the football. 2-point conversion upcoming. Dottie, the deep back this time. They'll go back to him. They'll let him, give him the opportunity to add 2 to his 6. He bounces it to the outside, but inside the pylon. And the Thunder now lead 16 points to 6, 10 points to deficit for the Raptors.
Well, yeah, Raptors set a bit of an edge there, but didn't have the personnel to contain him inside.
Coach Hollywood always talks about the staircase running. You know, in, out, follow your blockers to the sideline, and you'll be down to get yourself quite a few yards. And this time, got himself a 2-point conversion.
And coming from a junior's perspective, it's often sometimes difficult to get that to new players that the sideline is your friend in this sport, that you can use it as much as you want. You don't have to stay away from it as much as you do it in league and union.
So after the early threat of the Raptors, the Thunder might be grabbing another firm hold on this game, but of course the Raptors only took a couple plays, about 3 plays on their last drive to travel about close to 60 yards to get on the scoreboard. They've got just over 4 minutes to try and do the same here and get this ball game tight again heading into halftime. There's an onside kick attempt here from Silva. It travels the distance, and wisely Mike Jones realizes that and picks up the onside kick.
Yeah, good. Excellent play here from Mike Jones. Just waits for it to travel. The Raptors perhaps not realizing how close they were. They were backing off a bit too much.
You almost want to... I know the reaction, in particular, of special teams coaching nowadays is you're back and you let them run past, but with the way the kicks have been going, not only in this game, but in the league this year, you almost want to have your front line stand firm on the 10 until that ball's cleared.
Well, you've got to tell them that you're thinking about backing up, but you're not doing it until you see that ball going flying, because like I said, with too many kickers these days, with too many variations on the short kicks, it can be fraught with danger to back up too early.
And, just looking at the name of a player in the previous game, Justin Duggan. Speaking about kickoffs, though, we had a player, Justin Duggan, from the Vultures last game, who tried to actively run up from the front line and block a kickoff. It was amazing.
It was a bold strategy. Unfortunately, did not pay off for him, Cotton.
Cotton would have been proud. It was one of the most peculiar things I've ever seen. 1st and 10.
Oh, we've got a Wildcat formation here
Pope?
again.
Pope's back in the backfield. He'll pass to Corwin. Corwin's broken it on the slant. Corwin's downfield and ankle tapped. He was already thinking of a 6. Well, they flip things up on us there, and wide receiver passes the quarterback. Why not?
It's that sort of day. Did well to bring in that. That snap was high into his right a little bit, but got a quick handle on it and got it away to his QB/wide receiver.
And there it is. He's registered a catch now, Tommy Corwin in Gridiron, Queensland. If anyone, and this included myself as of 2017, did not think Tommy Corwin was an athlete, well, you can wipe that off the board.
Keep padding those stats.
They've got a free release here to Corwin if they want to go there, but it will be a run to Pope. Pope still there. Someone could have definitely tried to strip that ball off him.
I think he was looking, but unfortunately the
Late flag at that.
Oh.
We got a bit of extracurricular activity.
Looks like it.
Well, someone's not happy. I think that's Corwin. What happened?
I think he might have thought about passing, but there was a raptor in his face almost immediately.
Well, what's happened here late? What's someone taking?
No, I don't think we're going to get...
Might have been a bit of chat then, I'm imagining.
Yeah, possibly. We'll see who it was on, though.
Let's see if we get the old...
Looks like it was on the Raptors. No, oh no, turning around.
Referee still doesn't... Not sure if he's sure. Personal foul against the offense. I couldn't... We're not personally connected to the referee, so we couldn't make that out, unfortunately, but it is against the Thunder.
Yeah, I'd say someone had something to say, either to the referees or to one of the Raptors players, and that's cost them 15 yards, which in these conditions can be vital.
76, I think, has been pinned for a bit of back chat, or a bit of unnecessary chat. Over the top chat. Take it however way you like it. 2nd down and forever. And this will be a keeper to Corwin. Corwin now back at quarterback. He's had his short stint in the wide out position and takes a short gain there on 3rd. I think gets it back to the line of scrimmage, actually plus a couple of inches.
Well read there by Peter Mariana. Didn't fall for the fake and actually tackled the right man with the ball, which would have been difficult from his perspective coming from left end, I believe.
3rd down. Once again, 3rd and Toowoomba. No offense to our Toowoomba players from last game.
They know how far away they live.
Wide receivers, 3 of them out to the right. Actually, 5 wide, empty set. It's a bad snap. The Raptors recover.
Oh no!
Well, the Thunder, they're just full of turnovers right now.
They are. They're putting themselves in the right positions to get the balls, and that one may have been a butt fumble. I believe that's the classic.
Let's see if we can get another look. The center is number 78. Joshua Duke.
Yep. He's just.
Yeah, he's
snapped it straight into himself.
It's a butt snap.
Yep.
So, well, that's not the first time. If anyone was watching the Ravens Thunder game a couple weeks ago, prior to the bye, the Ravens center had a situation where he did the same to the point where we thought he might actually thought his quarterback was under center.
Yep.
So,
I'll steal Hank Azaria's joke and say the QB's hands might be that soft that the center can't tell whether they're there or not.
You could have taken that for yourself, mate. Good on you for giving credit. But that's why they say, without getting too graphic, knuckle.
Yep. Let him
Former
know.
center yourself, I think.
Yes, I've played pretty much everywhere except punt return.
Ghost game's coming up, mate. Here go the Raptors again, charging forward, filled with confidence after the last turnover.
Yeah, good. Good run, good return on it. Got about 6 yards. So going to stick with the power run and see if they can get themselves back into this game.
Yeah, you can see a good fake there coming down the backside is Zachary McLean, which is keeping those backside defenders honest. 2nd and 4. What do the Raptors got? More of the same, more misdirection, plenty of... No space, in fact. Great pursuit there from the defensive lineman. The man we were talking about earlier. Number 51. Sorry, it was 91, wasn't it? Heidi Kafoa.
Brilliant effort there. He was gone for a big gain if he didn't get to that play, and managed to drag him down. Excellent effort.
Timeout. No, 2-minute warning.
2-minute warning.
So the Raptors, they've got 2 minutes to try and narrow this lead and keep the hope alive of one of the biggest, if not the biggest, upset in the men's division here in 2018.
Well, if they can score in these last 2 minutes, it definitely sets them up to spring a surprise.
2 backs now. I formation. We haven't seen this today. And Verbakel hasn't kept it. They've gone up there, and I'll credit Verbakel for following out the fake. And
Gone to the fullback of Pizzier, I think.
yeah, it has.
Oh no, 27.
T. Suchun.
Pizzier.
I've got to say, Phil, I love seeing exciting, pass-happy football as much as the next guy, but it is kind of exciting and refreshing to see this 2-back power football.
When I got up this morning and saw what the weather was, I mean, it poured this morning. I was at somewhere else with the children, my girls' soccer thing in the morning. I thought, oh my, this is going to be mud ball football. It's going to be my favourite type of game.
And
I know there's going to be a lot of QBs and wide receivers that will disagree with me, but as an old linebacker and D lineman, there's nothing you like better than a wet field.
and then, well, if any quarterbacks and receivers want to take an issue with it, take a seat, Saladidis.
No, they get enough laudits and glory.
And we got 4th and short here.
Yep.
Well, last time they had a situation like this, we chastised them for going for it, but of course it was 4th and short, then turned into a 4th and long, and they decided to go for it here. I think this is a different situation. If they can keep it a 4th and short, penalties withholding, it's not a bad decision to go for it.
I was much more okay with them going for it on 4th and short than I was from them going on 4th and long. I would not be surprised if they go for the hard count here. The Thunder have taken a timeout just to make sure they're aware of what's happening, and so it's going to be harder to actually move them.
We've got a real clash of the big men right now. You look at the Thunder D-line. Just when I was thinking how big the Raptors O-line was, I look at that Thunder D-line, and they actually probably outweigh them, I imagine, by a couple of kgs.
And of course the big unit up at linebacker Bruce Polisi as well.
Brucey, known as the biggest pest in the locker room. What are they going to do? They're going to go for it. He breaks the first tackle. He's got the first down. And more. They keep this drive alive inside 2 minutes.
He very nearly busted that for the whole lot.
And now they take a timeout. Oh, what a narrative this game is proving to paint. And we've got a vulture down. Sorry, my apologies. A raptor down. All the birds there look the same to me.
Yes.
We'll call them a raven next.
Number 73, the tackle, I believe.
And taking that time is there the upback is Zachary McLean, who's been used primarily as for misdirection this game. They give him the ball this time, and he rewards them in the clutch.
Let's see what they come up with this time, though. Seems to be out of timeouts as well, so they might have to go to the pass here.
You got to wonder the Ravens and the Stingrays. They're kicking off at 6:30. You got to wonder if anyone's watching their pregame. They're probably both going for the Raptors right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
First down and 10.
No offense to the Thunder, but I think everyone will be happy if the Raptors got up.
Two backs. Verbakel, he'll hold on. He'll keep it here. They do that on first and 10, which is an interesting time. They used that on 4th and short last time there, and first and 10. Verbakel was forced to the sideline and can't really get forward. Maybe half a yard if he's lucky. It doesn't look like
they may come back to it again because it didn't look too bad. They just went, I think, to a short side on that one, so that may not be the option. It may have been better going the other way with a similar play.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Phil, though, but like doing it, even if it doesn't work there, it just increases the value of the fake every time he doesn't do it, right?
Yeah, and it will open up things more for the inside run. Although they can't really use that at the moment because of the time factor. They've got about 45 seconds by our clock.
One timeout left. Two backs. Thunder showing blitz. They'll give it to the fullback who gets forward awfully quickly. Will pick up close to 8 yards. Time's ticking. And a timeout will be called. That will be the third and final timeout for the Raptors, giving them 33 seconds left here in this first half.
And that puts them in a difficult position now because if they manage to get it on the ground, they've got to get up quick and spike the ball. Depends whether they want to go for just a pass here and then another pass if they don't get it on 4th. It's one of those ones where I'm glad I'm not a coach anymore because the play calling decision is one I don't envy.
Yeah, not at these times, but geez, isn't it ecstatic when you get it right? You get the play call right.
It's rocks or diamonds. You're either did something brilliant or you're a complete mug.
You and I probably gave each other a couple of grey hairs during our battles against each other back in the day.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to see any double reverses here.
Not with that attitude, mate.
Although it would not be a bad play.
Stop it. It would be
Everyone's going to be all over that run.
Oh, it'd be brilliant. It would be brilliant. Let's see if they just try to go for the run here, and if they convert, spike it. Put a player in motion. The left-hand side, they will run. Verbakel will fake. Will he get the first? He's getting wrestled down by Pelusi. It'll be awfully close.
Just short, maybe. I can't quite see what line that mark
I'm seeing
on.
a first down marker from one official and one from another. They've got it. I would be hustling back to the line to spike this.
Yeah.
They haven't got any timeouts. What are you doing?
The clock's going to start as soon as they reset those. Oh, we must have miscalculated. That is now their final timeout.
Oh, okay. I thought we were on ball on top of it there.
Yep,
So
our information was clearly wrong.
So there we go. Is it too soon to mention the spike this close to the end of the clock here, Phil?
Don't. I still have nightmares about that one.
First and 10. Just outside of the red zone. Ball on the 21. They have 20 seconds and 21 yards to cover to score before the half. Verbakel under center. He will pass. He'll be flushed out to the right. Still looking downfield. Stop. Sets. Throw. He's got 2 in the end zone. And they've got to score, but a flag's been thrown.
I believe that's going to be defensive pass interference. That's going to be disregarded. The 2 receivers, the deeper one got absolutely mugged by the defender, and the one in front came down with it.
And Alec Thompson, who scored against the Rhinos a couple of weeks ago, he comes up with another highlight reel play.
Unfortunately, we do have flags down in the backfield as well in the vicinity of holding.
And it looks like that'll be the case. How unfortunate that was all unfolding well for the Raptors.
Penalties will offset and replay down. So they've only lost the time here. They haven't lost any yardage or any downs. Not that downs are really a factor this late.
Yeah, well, they'll have 12 seconds to do it now, but if they're all going end zone passes, that's a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
That was a heck of a play there from Alec Thompson.
Impressive.
They almost ruined each other's chances, actually, there, the 2 Raptors receivers.
Maybe they have watched the Rhinos receiving and thought we'll have 2 in the same area so we can run the tip
Tip play,
pass.
tip drill. I don't think that's what it was intended for, but
No.
if it
Lots
works,
of
it works.
fortune, though.
Got to buy a ticket. First and 10, 12 seconds left on the clock. Momentum currently in favor of the Raptors. Can the Thunder put a stop to that? They will fake the blitz and they will take a run here. Like they're gonna have to hustle back to the line of scrimmage here. Are we missing something? Do they have an extra timeout?
No, it's all the signal for... We did see the signal for final timeout, and I believe it's going to be half.
That's fascinating. I'm awfully fascinated by that final play call.
Well, they probably thought that was their best option. That's the only thing that's really worked for them tonight is the runs off the edge. Thought they'd dial up to see whether they got lucky on this time.
Well, Tavita Fafita looks like he's going to join his teammates back at halftime. We'll see, check on his health for the second half. Meanwhile, it looks like the Lightning will stay away here for the moment being. Touch wood. All right, welcome back to the second half of an incredibly entertaining game here in round 8 at Deception Bay between the second placed Griffith University Thunder and the Raptors, who are possibly on track to complete one of the biggest upsets in 2018, if not the biggest upset. Of course, they are trailing at the half, and the Thunder have proven that they can score, but they've also proven that they are full of turnovers.
Yeah, the Raptors are definitely not out of this one yet, and all it's going to take is a couple of things to go their way, and they could spring one of the biggest upsets in GQ, certainly this year, if not history.
And Kenny Andres here, ready to talk you through the second half, joined, of course, by a long-time Colts and senior head coach and player Phil Levis, joining me in colour. And I managed to stop Lee Palmer at halftime, and the offensive coordinator of the Moreton Bay Raptors, to discuss his decision towards the back end there. And he said he was happy the way things are going. He said they had their shot. Unfortunately, discipline let them down. And he said for him, they said their kicker, between their long snapper kicker, there's a few niggles there and things just aren't going well, so they didn't want to kick it. As far as not putting it back in the air, they said based on past decisions to pass it and a couple of other passes, they felt they would rather go into the momentum and run the ball than risk a negative play to affect both the offense and Aaron Verbaker's psyche moving into the second half.
Yeah, it's definitely, they've got to keep the morale up no matter what happens. But yeah, so it would have been a dicey option to throw it anyway. So I can understand his reasoning there.
And he also mentioned that the Thunder do have DBs back there that could do something crazy and take it the distance. On this kick return now, we're on a decent return here. I did just see a flash of Thunder, I believe. And I'm talking about the literal Thunder, not the visiting team here today.
A good return there from number 50. I don't have a...
Number 50... 50 was it, or 58?
Maybe it was 58, maybe. Jerseys. Well, no, it was definitely 50.
Not even Phil and I are safe from the elements right now. Ted's doing his best, but we are getting still rained on a little bit.
It is fighting a losing battle.
Wyatt Kramer. Kick returned on that particular play, putting him in decent field position. Another reason why they didn't want to try putting the ball in the air on that last play. They were getting the ball in the second half.
Yes. Well, let's see what they can do with this field position.
Verbakel under center. He'll give there to number 23 and Jamie McFarland. No, was that 23 or 27?
I think it's 27.
27. T-Soon Chun, my apologies, who busted out the huge 40-yard plus touchdown that got them on the board in the second quarter.
Yeah, good positive yards on the play, get themselves in a good position, open up their options a bit more on second down. Let's see what they can go here, whether they go straight up the middle again or whether they move to more an edge.
Sam Loretta now standing up as a pass rusher. They look like they'll send 5. They send more than that, in fact, and they take down T-Soon Chun in the backfield. Almost get the ball stripped, actually, by number 45, Bruce Pelusi.
Yeah, just too aggressive here from the Thunder. Managed to get good penetration on the line. Yeah, just got to the inside shoulder of his blocker and managed to work him into where the handoff
was and take down the runner as soon as he got it.
Third down and long now has not been a friendly down and distance to the Raptors or any team for that
not
matter.
what you want under these conditions. It
Verbakel.
is coming down fairly heavily.
Split backs. He's lost the ball out of the snap and he'll recover. And that'll bring up fourth, and Raptors will have to punt this away. No, the Thunder, in fact, they're claiming they have it. And they do. The Thunder recover it there on third and long. Quarterback exchange gone wrong there. Verbakel couldn't get a grab on it. Now the Thunder in position to add to their lead. Leading by 10 here early in the third.
Yeah, that's exactly what the Thunder needed. They would have gone into the half a bit dirty on themselves that they haven't put a team like the Raptors away. So getting the ball back in good field position will be exactly what the doctor ordered for them. But let's see if what they can do with it. I said they have been prone to turnovers in the first half. Going with an empty set once again. 3 receivers to the left, one of them in nice and tight.
And here we go. Corwin's going to throw long for Silva. And that's exactly... Sorry, that was Pope, my apologies. Not Corwin. And that was the way they started the first half. Silva with a long reception. And this one falls incomplete.
Yeah, just couldn't drag it in there. Obviously going while the ball is still relatively dry. See whether they can get a good deep reception on it. Worked in the first half, hasn't come up in the second.
Darty's back in the game. Pope as a running back more than a wide receiver. They find that his talents will be served closer to the ball in this weather. Tristan back now getting involved. They've given up throwing to him. They're handing to him. And that's proving beneficial already. He picks up a first down. 3 drops in the first half.
Excellent block on the edge. Yeah, was that number 6?
Yeah, it's Pope.
Yeah, Pope. Good block. Gave his run of the edge, which sprung him for the first down.
And there's a flag on the play.
Oh, I didn't see where
Yeah,
it was.
it's back near the defensive side of the football.
That's probably going to be holding then.
And yeah, I can already see the Thunder going back. So Tommy Corwin, much disappointed with the call. And that'll move him back. And discipline has not evaded either team today.
No, and that's hurting both of them on both sides of the ball. It's heartbreaking when you get a good run like that and start getting momentum. It keeps getting pulled back for penalties.
Well, it's
lead to frustration.
Robbed both teams of touchdowns in the game so far. Corwin. He'll pitch it out to Pope. Pope will take it on the sweep. Now we'll go north. Look at the explosion out of him. He'll break a tackle. We could be seeing the game's 4th touchdown. No flags on the field. The Thunder, they scored first in the second half.
Like I said, it's difficult to get the ball to the edge out of the pistol, but that is one way you can do it with a quick pitch. And he's just seen the Raptors overcommit, cut it up, and turned on the afterburners, and that was all she wrote.
It's weird, the old pitch out of the pistol. It almost looks amateur.
Yeah.
It's effective, but it's not as pretty as some of the other play designs.
No. But like so we've seen teams use variations on it. The Rhinos ran a pass out of it this year and this week, just before, and wouldn't be surprised to see the Thunder do that as well, with multiple players able to pass on their roster as well.
22-6. Can they add a 2-point conversion? They've given it to Pope again. He's spinning, turning, and unsuccessfully trying for a 2-point conversion. Well, for the Thunder, Phil, I think this is a case of the weather is not letting them play the way they want to, so they're just putting their best players in a position for them to make plays.
Get your best players the ball as quickly and as efficiently as you can, and hope that their talent can do the rest for you.
Even if it's not in the traditional way you'd give it to them, the way they've been using Corwin as a designed runner, the way they've just been putting Pope and just flat out putting him at running back.
And the jet sweep there as well.
With Tristan back,
is a good way to get a fast player ball in their hand with as little risk as possible.
And, I mean, I know we're applying it to in the context of playing within rain at the moment, but as far as college football goes in America, that's the general logic of creating offense, isn't it?
Yeah. Get your best players the ball
In
as
space.
often as you can.
And even in the NFL, we're seeing it more often now with like players like Patty Mahomes literally just popping it up for players running in front of him and whatnot.
Yeah, so much more talent these days on the offensive side of the ball is leading to more creativity.
Certainly a lot more speed as well.
Yeah.
The dribbling squib kick here will be taken by the Raptors and returned forward for a good couple of yards, eventually taken down there by the Thunder, but the Raptors will start this drive north of their 40.
Yeah, good little return there. Managed to
James
shrug a
Rucker.
few off and get his team some good positive yardage. Now let's see what they whether they persist with the power running game or whether they try something a bit more adventurous.
Well, it's coming down. This rain. So much so that I think we might have even lost one
Looking
of
a
our
little
cameras.
disorganised there.
And another bad exchange. This one's recovered by the Raptors, but that's 2 plays in a row now for them.
So we're saying before that the pistol and then the shotgun are difficult to get your hands on the ball in the right position to pass, but the under center can sometimes be problematic for exchanges. At least when it's being snapped in the air, you've got time to see the ball into your hands, whereas going by feel, especially when it's this slippery, can be a problem in itself.
Absolutely. Sometimes your center just then feels like they've got to leave it there a little bit longer. Then you start seeing plays being blown up through the middle. This one successful. They give it back to TCU, but he can't hold on to it. The Thunder recover again. 2 drives in a row. The Thunder have taken advantage of bad snaps or bad exchanges.
See who gets their arms in there. I think he just tried to go a spin move and left the ball behind him, and it's just popped straight out.
I think it might have been Paula Tapiletti forcing the fumble. I'm not sure who recovered. So
The Thunder can complete a drive here. This might put the
lights.
game well beyond reach for the Raptors.
So Thunder, they found the secret to the second half of their offensive progress.
Well, that's a sign of a good team and a good head coach that can adjust at halftime, figure out what's working, what isn't, and come up with a solution and implement it.
Tate Woolbridge now brought back in the game. Pope's still in there as the outback. They'll give it to Wooldridge. Tate Wooldridge taken down and a good tackle right there from number 74. Amadeus Tohu, defensive tackle.
Yeah, decent hold there, but the tackle just managed to get on the right side of his blocker and rode him all the way to the running back. Only ended up getting a yard on that one.
Same personnel. Tristan back, the near side wide receiver to your screen. Kyo Silva, far side now. In motion is back. Will they give it to him again? No, they won't. Colvin will pull it down and pass. He'll look short and it'll fall incomplete. Pass intended to Corey Jones.
I don't think the Thunder have quite got this under control yet. They're still having a lot of backfield issues as to positioning and what have you, but we'll see whether they can pull it together for these next 2 plays and finish this drive off.
Third and 9. Corey Jones now playing slot receiver. Tristan back off the line and in motion. They'll give it to back. The Snow College product is racing to the sideline now. He's got a block and the first down, I think. There's the jet sweep again, Phil.
Yep. Good block on the outside by his receiver and good awareness to know where the first down was. Get out of bounds.
Two to 6. Here in the just south of the midway point of the third quarter. Raptors have turned the ball over in their first 2 possessions of the second half. 4 down linemen, but they blitz the Raptors, and they'll take Wooldridge down at the line of scrimmage. Tate Wooldridge, that is.
Good play there from the edge of the Raptors. Outside linebacker there goes scything through. I think the tight end was supposed, or the close end receiver was supposed to block him there and just missed his assignment. Allowed him to get through in the backfield and drag the running back down before he could make any yards.
Both teams here, do you even try to get cute with defense, or do you just load up and do you just send as many as you can?
I'd say with the run heavy, you might as well load up and try and, at the very least.
So, speaking of the devil, they tried that with Pope. Pope uses his speed and elusiveness to get away for his 3rd touchdown of the day. That will stand, no flags. Pope, a running candidate for MVP in this game.
Yeah, like we were saying, it might be advantageous to blitz a bit more, put a few more on the line and stop things like that from happening, because the passing game isn't really happening for either side, so you might as well load up on the run and blitz and contain blitz. But obviously there, that didn't quite work for them.
You're still going to make the tackle.
Yeah, still going to make the tackle. Pope managed to find a little crease, and that's all he needs.
Tackling is hard. It's even harder in the wet. And it's even harder when you're the guy as sort of slim as that guy who can make moves.
The fundamentals of it don't change though. There's too much going high in arm tackles. Which
Pope will pass on the 2-point conversion and successfully complete to Caio Silva. Well, just when we thought the passing game was dead.
Yep.
Now the backup, no less. Now we obviously know about input wide receiver Jarvis McClam and his quarterback history in college. I do wonder if Pope's had some time taking snaps before as well.
Might be something we have to ask him before the next game.
He looks quite comfortable back there.
Yeah. I dare say it might be like goal kicking in rugby league, that everyone has a go at some point in their career. I did line up under centre myself once for half a game and never again.
You were right after that. I was listed as the backup quarterback of the 2009 Junior Sunbowl team, and then was immediately moved to 3rd string by a man named Jordan Cito. Can't imagine why.
No. Can't imagine you were too disappointed either.
No, I was incredibly disappointed. That's still a sore point to this day. Line drive. And almost fielded there. Now it's going to pull up. They'll have to return this from an awkward position, the Raptors. They'll run this forward. The ball's been lost. It's slipped out. It's real mud bowl football right now, but the Raptors have recovered. You can see now the rain's so heavy that we're seeing splashes there with every step from each player in the field right now.
Yeah, very lucky you didn't actually get that down in the first instance, but managed to get back and clean up mess and make a decent run up the middle. Considering where the ball ended up, to get 20 yards out is quite a good result.
30 points to 6 off the last Pope run and 2-point conversion. The Raptors, well, they've been out-enthused and out-executed early in the second half, and very well could be enough to leave them behind here, and their chances of creating the upset as gone as the dry weather we had hours ago.
Raptors looking a little bit disorganised there, so they've taken the time out just to talk about what they're going to do and what the play call is.
The timeout now. take a short break and we'll be back on the other side of it. Back soon with more GQ action coming shortly. Oh, and back here after that short timeout. Thunder lead 30 points to 6 over the Raptors, 6:24 remaining in the third quarter. Raptors on offense. Need something to revitalize them right now. And we'll start by getting the snap and exchange right. This one's good for Bakel. No one behind him to sell the fake. He tries to turn it into a screen, which is successful. Tisu Chun with a first down. And the Whoops are back alive on the Raptors sideline.
Interesting play. I don't think it quite came out as designed, but the result is the thing that matters.
Yeah, I think he sent the wrong back out there. He was looking for someone to...
He motioned the back out to give him an empty set and didn't have anyone to fake it to, but I believe the fake worked anyway.
It's the Wally Lewis dummy.
Yeah.
30 points to 6. The Raptors, maybe that's the little spark they needed to get this game back to a competitive scoreline. Tisu Chun, I think that's Pizzier in the backfield for Bakel onto centre. He will give this time to Pasilla. Pasilla bounces off a tackler, but is cleaned up by Trejo soon after.
Yeah, just couldn't get his momentum going forward enough there. Turned it into a bit of a stretch. And once you're going sideways in this weather, it's very hard to turn a corner, especially for a bigger bodied back like Pizzier.
Yeah, if you're going east-west, you kind of want it in that sort of motion of a toss or a sweep. Something that has a keeping on the same sort of track.
Yeah.
This really is where power football comes to the forefront. 2nd and 10. Raptors in possession. Rebecca with a fullback dive. Giving it to Pasilla. And he'll take it for a couple of yards and a cloud of dust.
Yeah, 3 or 4. The off tackle here isn't a bad play either because it gets you to the edge and away from their big defenders, but also enough forward momentum to get momentum yards.
Yeah.
But like I said, changing direction is the problem.
The old off tackle run, is that almost pretty much been relegated to like goal line plays only?
Yeah, I think so, and even then it doesn't really mean an off tackle because you've usually got 3 or 4 extra linemen out there, so it doesn't quite feel the same.
2-back set again. And this will be a keeper for Verbakel. Verbakel looking for the edge and can't find it. Run out of bounds by Garrett Griffith, the defensive coordinator and free safety, who said he's trying to stay out of playing today, but looks like he's had to jump on.
Temptation is too much sometimes. Yeah, unfortunately, I think his backs went the same direction as him that time, which doesn't really help on a fake on a bootleg play like that. Whether that was meant to be more of a QB power play or not.
30 points to 6. 3rd and 6. 4th and 6. 4th and 9. Sorry. Updated the screen
Looks
now.
like they're going to punt here.
Punt is away and good. It's short though. Probably nets them about 17 yards total.
Yeah, very, very close alignment there from the punter as well. A very quick kick, so not a whole lot of distance on that one. But once again, keeping it out of the returner's hands might be the go, especially in this weather. It's going to be very hard to set a good defence up in an open field situation.
Here's an interesting topic, mate. You've been in and around the league for a long time. Who's the best punter you think you've ever seen in GQ? Juniors, seniors, women's, whatever.
I think Nathan Chapman was the best.
I think it's hard to go past Chappie.
Yeah, it was his.
There's a reason he got into the NFL.
I'll tell you the story. It was, something
there you
to
go.
behold.
Stand by. Chapman's story to come. Pope still the quarterback, and he'll throw deep. And incomplete pass intended to Silva again.
No, I believe his first ever game was against an American team, a combined Rhinos Ravens team played an American team up the sunny coast. He's lined up for his first punt and just boomed it about 20 yards deep, and this kid was lined up. So a couple more plays later, he's had to line up for a second punt. Kid's lined up 20 yards deeper. Boom, about another 20 yards deeper than him again. From that point, the kid just lined up on the goal line, no matter where they were.
For those who don't know, Nathan Chapman actually ended up playing a little bit of NFL with the Green Bay Packers, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, played a few preseason games for them. Oh, good defense there from them.
Oh, and the whistle probably saved them there.
I think forward progress was called on that one.
That was Rakvelski again. Pronunciation pending. In on the play, as well as actually probably more so Corey Pettit making the play there. But Mariani also contributing. Yeah, one of the first players actually. Everyone obviously talks about the Jesse Williams, and obviously a lot of talent now.
Yeah.
Jordan Mailata, the most recent one, but yeah, Nathan Chapman of the.
Certainly one of the first ones that we'd had at that stage. There had been a few in the 80s and what have you that had gone over.
Blitz, Pope beats him again, beating the backfield now. Mariani chases him down from behind.
Yeah, unfortunately wasn't able to make a starting side, but has turned that into quite a good little business there, where he's training guys in punting and kicking and getting them ready to go over there, and they're now.
Yeah, high school,
I think I said about 10% of the punters and kickers in the NFL now are Australian.
Yeah. Well, you only have to see now out of the last 5 punters of the NCAA punters of the year, I think 3 of them have been Australian. There's a couple now. There's Seahawks punter, Australian. Obviously, Jordan Barry made it there for a bit. And pro kick. I think Chapman's pro kick or something like that.
Yeah.
He's proven to be pretty good for him in the long run. And false start by everyone, all the skill positions.
Yep, including the QB, who's lined up here at wide receiver again. I think you'll find the call in the huddle may have been on one or
first
sound.
Clearly everyone heard different stuff.
As a former centre, if in doubt, snap it and say you saw something.
You saw someone move.
Yeah, they looked offside to me.
Empty set. Once again, can they stay onside? Yes, they can. Pope looks, throws, tipped in the air. Nobody's ball. Incomplete. And that will bring up second down and long. Second and 15, in fact.
Once again, penalties putting him in the disadvantage. Having to go now 15 yards in this set, and passing being difficult, just compounds the importance on keeping a clean sheet as far as penalties go.
Is that Darty now on the far side? He's actually lining up. No, it's Corey Jones, and here goes. There's our tight end now turned to running back, Chris Bradshaw.
Getting some reps.
Call him an H-back. There it is, positive yardage as well. Might have only been half a yard, but he'll take it.
Yep. Let's see what they dial up here. Third and about 14.
And if you're the Raptors, you almost want to, and I've used this term the last 3 games, almost mush rush Pope here, because he's proven he can use his feet and get downfield.
He's definitely the danger man here.
You almost want to dare him to throw it. And he won't throw it. He'll run it by design and is taken down. Much better quarterback and contain work there this time. Number 54, Timothy Rakvelski.
Yeah, he had no thoughts of passing that whatsoever then.
Another design power play there. Number 67, Cameron Trejo. pulling from right to left.
Now 4th and long. No doubt they go for it here because it's a bit long to kick, and especially in these conditions.
4th and 13.
Yep. Just waiting for the play call to come in. Looks like they're a bit of confusion. Oh, that might be end of the third.
Well, yep. There it is, end of the third quarter. So 12 minutes remaining here in this round 8 clash. The second last game of round 8 in Gridiron, Queensland. We might take a short break as the team swaps ends, and I'll be back on the other side of the exchanger quarters. There we go. Good stuff.
Hello, Paul
sorry,
Mills,
Josh.
live streaming Brisbane.
Yes, hello. Do you only do live streaming?
No, we do all sorts of video production, from television commercials through to corporate videos. We even teach students how to film and edit. We've got 17 years worth of television production, from programs to series to websites to social media.
But you only work in Brisbane?
No, we don't just work in Brisbane. We actually travel all over Australia, and in the last few years we've worked in Perth and Sydney, Melbourne, Darwin, Adelaide, Toowoomba, Gold Coast, as well as Brisbane.
And we're back. Start of the 4th quarter. The Thunder, they might have squashed any hope of a upset victory here in round 8. It was 16-6 going into halftime. That score has now moved out to 30 points to 6. The Raptors have struggled to move the ball here in the second half.
Yeah, definitely the Thunder have gone in at half-time and fixed a few things that weren't working for them, and have come up with a few plays to deal with the conditions.
Pope spins, turns, looking for a ball, and the ground tackles him.
Sniper.
Very, very wet sniper.
Obviously a design run there by the looks. Oh no, it might have been a pass. But yeah, his line obviously didn't do the blocking for him, and that left him a lot of work to do.
Is there any more classic football sight than the quarterback pulling the old pivot move to evade the rush?
The spin out of nowhere, otherwise known as the panic spin.
Many quarterbacks have done it. Damien Malloy, very famous for it, but he
Yeah.
usually turns it into positive yardage.
Yes, it's very annoying when he used to do it. Don't mind saying that.
In the junior division, I think of a quarterback that you might remember fondly of named Disco Ryan, Jackson Disco Ryan.
Yes.
Was very famous for it.
The disco spin, yes.
30 points to 6. Raptors trying to close the gap. Rebakel, reverse pivot, and he'll reverse. There it is, Phil.
Yep.
You finally got a reverse, and they're going to call it early.
I think they were in an illegal formation there.
And when he's on the line, that receiver is on the line, and that's not a good thing. The far side receiver. I don't think so.
I think number 7 was supposed to be on the line out here.
And what a shame. They finally bust out the trickery.
Yep.
Oh.
And that's not what you want to happen too, because now you can't really use that again, at least not immediately anyway, because the Thunder will be well aware of it.
It's like whipping out your best dance move and someone cuts the music on you.
Yep. We'll see what else they've got in the playbook though.
Well, they're bringing off running back T. Su Chun, who's been really... He's got the most yardage on offense for them. And it was a false start. How disappointing.
Yep.
Don't have
Puts
to
them in an even worse position.
They'd have to have some gall to try and run the same play again.
Well, they might not be expecting it, considering it didn't work the first time.
Different formation this time. Different personnel. New running back. I think that might be McLean. For Bakel, making sure the appropriate receivers are off the line. And it'll be a simple inside handoff here, but it is shut down behind the line of scrimmage. And pushing off him is number 92, Victor Takawe.
You're lucky not to concede a penalty on that one.
Good stop though.
Excited.
We've got a second and maybe close to 17, 18.
I think they'll stick with the run from here on out. So it's been the thing that's working best for them. And I think with the game probably reasonably expected to be out of their reach, they'll try and limit the damage by hanging on to the ball as much as they can.
And another fullback give. And the interior defense is up to par. And they'll shut that down, keep it to a very minimal gain.
Yeah, maybe 2, maybe 3 yards at most. That brings up about, what, 3rd and 15?
So, let's see if they try to go to something short. A short screen or maybe another rollout pass.
Yeah, a screen might be the go here. The Thunder are playing fairly aggressively because they're expecting run.
They've still got 2 safeties back, though. Oh, maybe.
Oh, they're not overly deep, are they?
No, they're not at all.
Safeties.
It's a cover 4 look almost. And they will run up the middle once again. He'll pop it out. A valiant run there, but it will be far from enough. A good strong run there from Pezia, but maybe earns them a yard or 2.
He managed to break a couple of tackles, but not enough to free himself.
Yeah. He actually runs over there, Garrett Griffith, who actually still comes up with the stop. It's not super imaginative of what they're doing, the Thunder. I think they're playing a pretty much cover 4 there and then letting everyone else who's not in a deep zone responsibility just to go ham.
Yeah, with passing being such a difficult prospect, they're just playing the numbers and making sure that they get as many guys to the football and stop the run.
They try to block this punt. It's another quick punt that's gone away. And I think that's Pope. Pope, 1 step, finds the right-hand sideline and runs it out of bounds, and the Thunder are back on offense.
Yeah, a bit better punt from that one. Actually get a bit more distance on it. And well contained there by the Raptors as well. Managed to get nice and well corralled as we didn't have anywhere to go.
So, first down, Thunder, who have a quarter to bleed out before they can call victory. The referees are deciding which ball will be used for this drive. First and 10, Thunder.
Stoppage or something?
Equipment, perhaps?
Oh, someone didn't have a mouth guard in.
Oh, Tisk. Coming off the field now. As let me get this right. Amadeus Tohu. And he'll have to take a play off. In comes number 28. Let me get this right. David Turbo Malcolm. And Corwin will pass. He's got a man. It's Tristan back, who would have had a highlight reel catch there, but goes off the fingertips, and that's been an unfortunate thing for him today.
Just couldn't get both hands to it, I don't think.
I'm sure the frustration is mounting. He's used to getting a lot of these deep receptions. The weather is limiting his production, though. They've had open receivers.
Yeah, and Corwin's able to still get a decent throw on the ball in spite of the weather. So, yeah, it's going to be up to his receivers to haul them in.
Which is impressive because shaking hands with Corwin, he hasn't got small hands, but they're certainly not big. So, using every piece of technique he has to get this ball out nicely despite the weather. A little pop pass to get back forward. He may not be able to catch him deep, but he can catch him from an inch away. And back gets a good ground, which actually counts as a reception.
Yep, had those stats. Tom Brady.
Boom. There we go. Tom Brady.
Earlier in the season that one is technically a pass and technically counts.
And this is something I actually brought up a couple of weeks ago, I think, with Sean Hunter in commentary. The good thing about that is if that goes awry and there's a mistake there, that's actually an incomplete pass, not a fumble.
Yes, yeah. So, yeah, if the handoff goes badly, you can...
And the quarterback
get your yardage back and not risk a fumble.
Gets the easiest yardages, easiest yardage to his stat numbers as they come. There we go, got it out eventually once I pulled my teeth out. Another pass here from Pope. They keep swapping quarterbacks. Oh, wow!
That's a testament to how difficult catching conditions are, because he had about 3 or 4 goes at that one and still couldn't bring it in.
You know,
A nice pass, there in position, no pressure on him, and just couldn't find a way to keep it
and
in.
you nailed it there. It shows you how much this weather. I mean, the rain has died down. It is just a constant dribble, but it shows how hard this weather is making it for the wide receivers, because it's almost getting comedic.
Yeah.
At this point.
You can see how much the water's pretty much stopped coming down, just a light drizzle.
You can see the far side there where all the water's drained to. It's how this field actually stays relatively dry. And the pass is almost intercepted. That could have been going back the other way too. On the coverage there.
Well, it's
was,
good for the
Corey
wide
Pettit.
receivers. It's good for the DBs, apparently. Would have had sights on the end zone on that one, but unfortunately couldn't bring it in.
So 3rd and 10 now. The Thunder. Now they are on the sideline. There's Big Sam Leota. And still a leader. A long-time Wildcat.
Yeah, with the demise of the Wildcats, a lot of them have moved over here to the Thunder.
Yeah, we'll talk more about that later, actually. We've got a little thing for that. Empty set again. A big blitz here, and they might get him. No, Pope still too quick and elusive once again. Shakes and bakes to the sideline. Stops, pivots, and it gets out of bounds. But, geez, he almost...
He did well to escape there, because that was looking very bad for him. But they just left a little gap in between the 4 of them and managed to squeeze his way through.
It's
Seems
hard
to be a running theme for him tonight.
They're getting off the edge there, but he is finding that spot. I mean, you almost want to make sure you take one of these edge guys away and blitz up the middle, because right now he's finding that push right behind him. We've got a Raptor down. It's number 54, the man whose last name I'm still unsure of, Timothy Reichowalski. And yeah, but we were talking about the absorption of the Wildcats into the Griffithini Thunder.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's been a bit of consolidation this year amongst the teams in the league. So several guys playing for new teams, and it's leading to the improved performance of all the teams at the top.
It does, and hopefully, look, it's great intermediately, but hopefully it's not something that sticks around, because it's not great for the growth. I've actually got a graphic about it that hopefully we can get queued up while the injury is going on. And there it is, actually go. Yeah, Thundercats are go. We talked about it, some of these long-time Wildcat starters who were part of the Wildcats, which has existed for over 20 years. Quarterback Tommy Corwin, who obviously we've called a lot today. Daniel Raybold, who unfortunately I don't think is playing today. Tavita Mwalo, another one, a starting center for a long time for the Wildcats. Sam Leota, who we discussed, obviously famous for the blue 59 jersey. And as pictured there, the Jones twins,
yes.
The long-time faces, mischievous faces of the many named Wildcats.
With those two, yes.
They were known for a long time as the Daisy Hill Wildcats, the South Side Wildcats. I don't think they were ever known as the Southern Wildcats, but most recently the South Brisbane Wildcats. But ultimately it was always the royal blue and yellow and white.
They had
made them famous.
Yeah, I believe the first time I played against them would have been about 97 in the Premier League, when we had there was a couple of years there where we had two leagues, which was very entertaining.
The FGQL, if memory serves correctly.
Yeah, something.
Sorry, no, FG is a females league.
No, there was the Premier Gridiron Football League and the QGFL.
That's the one. That's what I was looking for. I knew there was an F in there somewhere.
I think we tallied it up, and some guys played 40-plus games in the season.
Well, time's ticking. Just over 7 minutes. Pope's going to throw this long. How about this time? There we go. No drop this time. Tristan back. Catches it for a deep touchdown. You can't hold them off forever.
No, they were bound to come down with one eventually, and a good fade down the sideline. Well-run route.
Well, It was just a matter of time for one of these passes to stick, and Tristan back screams to the skies, "You can only hold me out for so long."
Now let's see what they come with on the 2-point conversion. Will they stick with the air, or will they go back to their power running they've used previously?
2-point conversion here. Silva, one of the taller wide receivers on the roster. He's wide right. He caught the 2-point conversion last time, I believe, from Pope. Pope remains at quarterback. He's got Tommy Corwin on the left slot. Will he throw it to him? Quarterback to quarterback. He will try to, but the pass is denied. A good defense there from Jamie McFarlane. Didn't quite catch it on that shot.
Yeah, good. I think he had an inside shade on him and did well to recover and get his hands in the way there. Corwin being no slouch as far as speed goes as well.
And you can see that the left side of the field doesn't quite drain as effectively as the other side.
Yeah, always difficult when there's open pools of water on the field, but both teams are doing their best with conditions.
Northeast side of the field, not quite as efficient at draining as the southwest. And something we haven't seen in a little while, a kickoff.
No, it has been a little bit back and forth recently.
Look how long Silva takes to kick off. As in the run-up length, I should say. He drills it though, so don't change what you're doing. That's a touchback. And the Raptors will take it at the 20. Or 25, I should say.
He gets a decent run-up on this, and obviously works for him to get as much power on the ball as he can.
And then coming back are the Raptors. Feels like a little while since they've touched the football. Also, big long drive there for the Thunder.
Yeah, it was quite impressive to see them finally put one together without too much difficulty.
And they proved they've got no dramas, especially now the rain has actually, I should update you on the weather here, the rain has stopped. It's wet out there, but the rain has more or less stopped, just a little bit of spitting happening. So that will do nothing but open up the passing game for them once the Thunder get back on offense. So they'll probably continue to, because they get an open downfield, they'll probably continue to bomb it long.
Yeah, with the rain not actually falling, it might be easier to keep the ball drier than it was. It's just how much it's absorbed already.
And Verbeek out of the shotgun completes a pass over the middle. Pass caught there by Alec Thompson. They've moved into the shotgun finally.
Yep.
And I say finally, not as if it's the right thing to do, but it's just we haven't seen it.
No, they've been under centre all game pretty much. We thought they might have started it, but that was a bit of deception.
Well, here we go.
A good little skinny slant there.
They'll keep it. They'll keep Verbeek.
Skinny post, sorry, yeah.
And there he is again, looking comfortable in the shotgun. He throws over the middle. The pass is tipped and incomplete. So, Verbeek, despite being an under-center quarterback, I say in inverted commas, he doesn't look out of place with the shotgun.
Yeah, just a little bit high on that one.
Coverage there by Garrett Griffith. Take another look at it, why not?
Yeah, had plenty of time and good protection.
Yeah, unfortunately, the crossing receiver can't bring it in. Now it looks like he'll go back under center here on second down. And he will do a three-step drop and throw a pick to Garrett Griffith. The experienced Euro player will take it down, and we have the Thunder back on the ball.
Yeah, tried to run a quick slant there and just well read by the defensive back. Just jumped all over it.
It was almost telegraphed, dare I say it. Eyes were there immediately, and unfortunately in the realm was one of the most experienced and capped players on this Thunder defense.
Yeah, didn't quite get as much pepper on that you need for a slant. That's got to be really quickly thrown and low and hard, which gave the DB chance to break on the ball and get in good position.
Oh, what a punt there by the white hat official.
Missed his calling.
He'll be signed up by Chappie's Pro Kick soon. First and 10. Let's see if they go out of the air on the quick change of possession. Oh. It's got Chris Bradshaw's back. At fullback, they won't get. I'll give it to one of the big fellas. It's Trejo. Trejo's rumbling forward. Big man with football. Oh, did I just see a small tear just drip out of the left side of your eye, mate?
I'm not even sure that's still legal, but...
Oh, you try telling him that wasn't a legal
no,
run.
I'm not going to be the one that's going to flag him.
Big man with football. We'll get a third replay. Yeah, so actually, I do wonder about the eligibility of that. There was a player outside him. I would have to assume there was 2 tight ends out there.
And he's an ineligible number as well, which I think is what the Raptors are asking now.
Well, that's allowed to be done provided they report it to the referee and then the referee announces it live, I believe. But that didn't happen.
I'm not entirely sure, but like I said, I haven't refereed any games this year, so I haven't had a refresher on the rules.
Don't worry about that on this case. They'll give it to Tate Wooldridge. Taken down after a short gain. Let's see if he got the first. I think he might be just short.
Yeah, it looks like a yard short to me.
Yeah, less than that, in fact. About half a yard. Give it back to Trejo. I'm demanding this.
Well, they didn't flag you the first time. They can't really on the second time.
Yeah, well, actually, I don't think we'll be able to go back that far, but you raise a good point there about the eligibility there. The referees, well, maybe just caught them by surprise. Sometimes you can slip something in there.
Yeah.
And no one's sure enough to make a call about it. So right now, I can say if they do it right now, it's illegal. It won't be the case. It's a bad snap, but picked up nicely by Pope. Pope looking for Corwin, and Corwin tiptoes his way to a touchdown. There it is. Corwin now adds a touchdown to his stat sheet, a receiving one at that. Oh, there is a case to be made there by the Raptors. I don't know if we can bring that back and slow it down, because from our angle, he's definitely got a left boot in out of bounds or into touches, I'd almost say. And right there, boom. Corwin's not going to like us showing that. So,
I was about to say, I'm not sure of the call from the sideline referee.
There's another foot there. But
I applaud him on his showmanship for delaying and keeping us in suspense until he walked. And
they left us hanging.
Delayed the last possible moment before giving the touchdown signal.
I don't actually have that official's name, but he tried to shove me in the rain, claiming that I haven't copped enough rain this game so far. Another pass from Pope, trying to hit someone in the back of the end zone, and an appeal for a flag, and flags have been thrown, but for whom? Tristan Back wants one, as does Benjamin Langton.
I believe that's going to be PI on that one.
Yep, that is a pretty clear defensive PI. I was actually talking to official Pete Solage before the game, talking about face guarding and if that's changing. And you're allowed to face guard, provided you don't blatantly run into the receiver, and that's something he did.
Yeah, it's always been the case that you could do it as long as you didn't make contact. Whereas in the NFL, I believe they call it if you're not looking at the ball, you can't really defend the pass.
Exactly right. And so you need to make an effort to be trying to locate the ball. So on the dubious touchdown from Pope to Corwin, they now will have the subsequent 2-point conversion. It's over the head of Tate Wooldridge, who was lined up there. Is that Pope? It's hard to see the numbers here. Red on black. I think that was Tate Wooldridge on the 2-point conversion. It goes over his head, and they'll be unsuccessful. The score remains 42 points to 6.
Obviously, they were going for a design run there and just got a over-enthusiastic centre again, snapping it straight past him.
Well, once again, Tate Wooldridge a little bit shorter than the other two quarterbacks.
Let's see what they can do here on the return game, the Raptors.
And their energy's been up all game. I think only now, after that last touchdown, have I seen a bit of deflation on the Raptors sideline. So credit to them for keeping morale high for as long as they possibly could. We've got 0-0-0 on our time clock, but I think there's a 2-minute warning. There it is. There was a 2-minute warning that we allegedly missed. Oh, it was given as they were transitioning. So 2 minutes left in this game. Silva will send this one deep. And it'll bounce eventually into the arms of McLean. He's got a bit of space and will quickly be shut down. Loses at the end. A flag gets thrown in towards the back end of the play too.
I think he got that one back. It rolled back into his... Yep, he ends up with the football. Might want to have two hands on it in this sort of weather. But probably a penalty on the returning team. Yep, blocking the back, as per usual, on a kickoff return.
So 1st and 10. Whenever this penalty will be officially assessed. Okay, now we've got 2 minutes. There's the official 2-minute warning right there. So 2 minutes remaining in this game. The Raptors, they proved they could get down the field within 2 minutes at the back end of the first half. Let's see if they can do it again and go home with a slightly wider smile on their face.
Yeah, any positive play here will be a good thing to end on for them. So they can put a little drive together, or even just get a couple first downs.
Might be right on time as well. Thunder has returned back here at Deception Bay. Referees probably won't hesitate, given the scoreline, to call this one short if necessary. Under center is Verbakel, and that must have been one of the quickest and slickest handoffs I've ever seen. Didn't even see it take place.
I think it's straight to the fullback there.
Right there, yeah, quick fullback dive.
Just using the bootleg as a distraction to keep a few players off of him.
David Malcolm with a nice block right at the end of that play on Trejo. Second and 7. And this is a outside zone play, but it's shut down quickly by the Thunder. In the play.
He has a
Trejo.
draw look to that one, I think.
Yeah, pretty late handoff. Fair play. And Heidi Gaffar also on that play.
So let's see what they come up with. What, 3rd and 7? 3rd and 6?
Sorry, not there you go. Josh Baum in the 51. Third down and 7.
Thunder with about 6 on the line of scrimmage.
Send all of them. Quick slant to Malcolm. Incomplete. He can't hold on to it, and that'll bring up 4th and 7.
No, that might be the end.
I think they've seen some lightning. They said there's no point risking it from here, and that will bring a close to our doubleheader here at Deception Bay. The Thunder, they defeat the Raptors 42 points to 6. In a game where the Raptors certainly looked like they were going to take it to the second place team in the first half, but the second half was it all belonged to the Griffith Uni Thunder.
Yeah, they put up a good showing, but just couldn't go with them at the end. They're the Thunder running away with it.
Oh, well, we appreciate your company once again here in another week of Gridiron Queensland football action. Big thanks to the Sporting Globe, our sponsor for this week, and also the folk here at Live Streaming Brisbane, bringing you all the action on GQ TV. I'm Kenny Andres, joined by Phil Levis, and another thank you to Impact Sports and yourself for joining us through this doubleheader today. Look forward to your company next week.